Okay, what are the people? My name is Roman and I'm a part of Hero Plays, and I've been watching the recent tourney, the EU and NA tourney that's been going on for the new game Knockout City, and just watching these quote unquote pro players play, or these really high level players play. It's been really insane, it's been really crazy just kind of seeing what the current meta looks like. And so that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about in this video. A lot of things that I've noticed and taken down, sort of how these, again, I'm going to call them pros just for ease, just for the sake of ease. But yeah, how the quote unquote pros play. So yeah, that's what we're talking about in today's video. So let's get into it. Now, the biggest, most important, the biggest thing that I took away after playing some ranked and then watching these guys play is that the most used button that they the most used action that they do is passing. There's nothing that they do more than passing. It's just non-stop pass. It's you could almost say that their passes compared to their throws are maybe 10 to 1. It's just the ball is always overcharged, they're always passing, they're always right next to each other, they always keep that advantage in that sense. So the number one, the most thing that they do is they pass, and the second most thing that they do is they fake throw. Now I feel what I've noticed from playing with in the lower ranks so far, fake throwing doesn't really seem to work a lot, and I think the difference is because these guys pass so much and the ball is always overcharged, then they have to be ready for the super high shots that are going to be taken at them, and so they have to be watching the hand animation, and so the fake throws work tremendously well in these high level games. And literally people they get caught out. You'd think it'd be impossible for these guys to get hit with a ball, but just a fake throw alone is literally destroying them. And so it's almost the only time when these guys throw the ball is immediately, in other words, they bait out the catch and then they throw immediately as soon as they see the catch. If you're kind of in the low ranks right now and your fake throws aren't doing anything, get your team to pass more, and because when you pass a bunch and the ball is always flying fast, then the opponents will get used to that, and so the fake throws will really kill them. So that's what you need to do. You need to pass a lot more, and then after that the fake throws will start working, and then after you base out all their catches and all their dodges, then that'll be the best time to hit them. Now really the only other main time where they would throw the ball outside of when an opponent was stuck in an animation was when they weren't focused on them. So in other words, if they were kind of busy fighting someone else, or they weren't looking in that direction, or if they were directly above them or something, then they would throw the ball as well. So but other than that, they were really hesitant to throw the ball. In other words, unless their opponent had dodged or did a catch animation, or if they weren't looking in that direction, if they weren't focused on them, they really just would not throw the ball. And so it's just what they did so much is they prioritized having the ball. In the start of each round, you'd even notice it where certain teams would throw their teammates across the map to go and gather ammo, as the announcers called it, and they just brought it back to their team. In other words, that was their focus. Their focus was keeping all of the balls with them, keeping all the ammo, and just forcing the other team to come to them and sort of operating on their own terms. If they were playing aggressive, they were playing aggressive as a team. If they were playing passive, they were playing passive as a team. And so again, the teamwork in these matches were just were unmatched. In other words, you could only imagine what their combos were and the way that they sort of were always passing. Whenever they wanted to take shots, they would try and target one person and just nail that one person, hit them with 2 or 3 balls right at the same time. And it really would work. It'd really be effective because it literally forced them to have to dodge because they're not going to be able to catch 2 or 3 of them in a row. The next thing off of that is they rarely used lob shots and curve shots. It really was just straight shots directly at the opponent. Because honestly, it technically is the fastest. You'd imagine with these pros they would you'd expect them to be able to catch the fastest thing, but when the ball is always being passed and it's always overcharged, even just straight shots are still too fast for them to react to sometimes. And so basically they really only use straight shots for the most part. Certain times they would try to do a lob or a curve, but honestly they would lob and curve passes more than they honestly through the ball lob their curve. So that's another thing. It's if you're always passing and the ball is always overcharged, then just doing straight shots is going to be the most likely way to just outspeed your opponent's reaction time. And it's been able to outspeed the reaction time of these quote-unquote pros, so I'm sure it's going to work for you as well. Going off of that, again, just the teamwork, you want to focus on one person at a time is what I've been seeing a lot as well, and what I've kind of already imagined you should do, because it's just literally one person can't catch 2 balls in a row. And honestly, one of my catchphrases is you can't catch them both, buddy, because it's just it literally is just a hard truth. It's just one player, it's extremely difficult to catch two of the balls flying at you at the same time. And so you really want to be communicating like, hey, let's target this one guy on this like throw at the same time. Like if they have one, and if you see one of the opponents that have 1 HP, you have to dog them. Like you have to go at them and make sure you get those kills. But at the same time, again, don't overextend yourself. Don't be over aggressive. These teams are really good at like sort of judging when to become aggressive, when to become passive, when to wait, when to gather all the balls, and just things like that. So just being very conscious. You also may want to appoint an IGL. Just to sort of like get a team as to like, and that means in-game leader if you don't know. But yeah, it should help a lot with like sort of in-game tactics, what to do in a specific moment. Someone to like sort of make the final call of like, hey, let's do this, everyone back up, let's move over to taxis, and let's say, you know, let's wait for them to come to us. Now another point that I saw was just like sort of how they always stay close to each other, and so that really helps to just the current gameplay of just like constantly passing, always throwing straight shots, lots of fake throws, and when they're grouped up like that, it basically prevents them from really being punished or capitalized on very easily. Especially when the cage ball was being used, you'd see that even sometimes they'd land the cage ball hitting someone, but they could never really capitalize because they would be right next to their teammate, and so the teammate could go and pick up their caged friend and just like buy for time. And that's another thing, like you want to be constantly buying for time. If you're on a 1v1, you literally just have to survive. You got to get back to your team as fast as you can. They dodged a lot. Like really, they would use dodging sort of as an escape. So they just like dodge all the way back to wherever their teammates were, because that's the most important thing. Because if you're stuck in a 3v1, you are going to die. So you have to avoid that at all costs. Let me know if you guys want a part 2 to this. I have a lot more things that I wanted to talk about in depth, but I'll leave it here for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, then go ahead and subscribe. If you want to play some Knockout City with us, or really any other game, we have a Discord server that you can join. There'll be a link in the description. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and remember, don't wait for a hero, go be one. Peace.
Oh. They're feeding balls to Ishmi right now, so he's staying up on the front here. And they can pinch his in for him back. Oh, wow.
Ball forming underneath the
Oh,
car
and he still
right
got
now.
hit!
And he's still...
Oh, what are you doing?
Why?
Oh, I wonder if he got stuck or something. That was a bizarre strategy.